Grand Rising. It's funny how the whole world seems to think like tribulation needs to start at the church. And they have now forgotten the fact that they have brought tribulation on the true Israelites for the last few hundred years. Now that they're starting to see things going wrong in their system, they're like, oh, well, the God said the tribulation is going to have to begin at the church, which the church was the Most High's chosen people. They are the called out group of people. Now, consider the fact that your church and all the vassals and everyone else is complicit with hiding this information. That's why they're all working together to ignore what they did to our people and act as if tribulation is starting now is because the Christians have lost their way when they never had the way in the first place. Now, some people just want to make a joke out of all this about, what white people have done and what they've controlled and how they built this country and the things that they've done. I'm going to show you guys a quick little clip of this video about how, this guy just wants to make a joke out of the things that they've done to our people and the vassals as well. Check it out.
It's Wednesday. I don't usually fool on a.
He's responding to a comment that says, whites built the greatest country on earth and in human history. Who cares about unseasoned chicken? So I'm going to play it, and then you guys can check it out.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I don't usually pour fuel on a fire like this, but there ain't an inch of this land not covered with the blood, sweat, and tears of black people, indigenous people, Hispanic people, Asian people. All we did was stand around with our thumbs up our butts and steal shit. But what puzzles me is, what really, I just don't understand. How the fuck we gonna steal all those spices and not use a damn one of them? Anyways, Powdered Prince.
So all that dirt, all that rape, robbery, and murder, all the things that they've done to the Most High's chosen people. Now, but you're worried about spices and not using spices because you think it's funny. And then when we start talking about how things are switching and how they are going to have to pay, all of a sudden you get this one so-called black person who comes in the comment board and wants to say, well, you're just being racist. There's no such thing as a black and white Jesus. And, Jesus doesn't see color. And I go to his channel, and all this dude has is nothing but basketball clips, basketball takes, worrying about Bronny James and LeBron and his father and stuff like that. That's all he's talking about. But you think that you're somehow qualified to come to our channel and tell us, who's been studying for years and years and years, who knows the scriptures frontwards or backwards among other books, many other books, as well as historical books. You're going to come and tell us that we're wrong. But see, this is why it's really important you don't call people brother. I said, don't assume that just because they look like you, they are your brother, because the vast majority of these people are not. The vast majority of them are tares. Now, between the tares as well as the ones that are our brothers and sisters who made a covenant with the other nations, there's going to be very few of us that are going to be in this truth. So don't be so quick to, oh, you're an Israelite, because people, I see me talking to them like, oh, do not assume that whatsoever. I said, because if I go to your channel and you're coming over here and saying things and all I see is clips about basketball, clips about the Lakers and this and that and what's going on here, and that's almost 90% of the stuff you're talking about. See, you want this system to continue. You like being at the bottom. You've gotten some perks in this system, and that's all you're worried about. And you seem to think that we need to even listen to you because you're a so-called black person, which is not the case whatsoever. You have no fruits, so therefore you have nothing to say over here. Now back to these people. Judgment already started in the Most High's chosen people. You started in 1502. You started with when you brought chattel slavery against the so-called black people, and you let the vassals get out of that. That was the judgment starting at the house of the Lord, and that was in our house. Remember, you guys made it so that no one else had to deal with this stuff except for so-called black people, and that's when you started chattel slavery in 1502. So right here in this book, right here, okay, the Negroes and the Jews. You look there, the American version of this ancient and traditional form of bondage was so ferocious that it seemed different in kind, if not in quantity, from any previously known form of servitude introduced by the Spaniards in Haiti in 1502. It spread malignantly across the body of the New World. You started chattel slavery. That was that was you guys bringing, or the Most High bringing destruction to the house of the Lord. You were cutting them off from being people. You did not allow them to be. They became property. They were not people anymore. And if it's not true, why have I not seen any videos disproving any of this information? I haven't seen not one video disproving any of this information, because you're not going to be able to, because this is where it all started. And this is why the 99% of the people in this world give their allegiance to the church, because they took down the Israelites, because of these laws right here. So just like right here, what do we know? What we do is the membership of the Catholic Church had a real significance, right? And complex consequences for Chino slaves, which included their becoming Indians. The church simultaneously defended the natural liberty of the Indians. So the white guy who's trying to make that video, we've killed black people, Native Americans, Indians, Asians. So you try to shove all of us into this group. But the vast majority of them got out of slavery because of these laws that you guys passed. And you made them vassals. You're still trying to lump us all in together as we all got treated the same, which was nothing further from the truth. So look right here. Okay? The indigenous peoples of colonized territories were vassals of the Spanish crown, who needed to be brought into the Christian fold and protected in their natural liberty. So see, they were not treated like us. So stop trying to always throw us all together. And that's what the guy with the basketball dude was trying to talk about. Oh, well, we've all gone through. Oh, black people are also being killed in these hurricanes. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of people going to be killed. Just because you die, even Israelites have been getting killed. So that doesn't mean that just death is a judgment all the time. Sometimes death is a way to remove you before true judgment comes. That's what actually happened to Enoch and Methuselah. I said Most High took them away before the flood came, so they wouldn't have to go through that. But see, that's the way you guys think everything. Everything's about, it's just about like if you're alive, that means you're blessed. Sometimes you being taken away and removed out of a situation is also a blessing. But you wouldn't know that because you don't read those types of books, right? So again, protected their natural liberty. Slaves were foreigners. That would be us. Chino slaves blurred that distinction because they endeavored to become Indians and gain full membership in the church, right? As free men and women, it was critical, in other words, for Chino slaves to be seen as what are they? Natives instead of foreigners, to be able to claim that they could not be legally enslaved by the end of the 17th century. The church assented, and Chino slaves' self-identification, and incorporated Chinos into its institutional framework as Indians. So when you're reading things like for it is time for judgment to begin at the household of God, and it begins with us. What will be the outcome of those who do not obey the gospel of God? That's exactly what happened. You guys started this in 1502. You started making us chattel slavery. The Inquisition came in and enforced all this. They were raping, robbing, stealing us as well. From 1502 all the way down to today, we're still 3/5 of a man. We're still not considered people. But we have come to the end of our time. So now it's right here. It says, and if it begins with us, which it did, what will be the outcome for those who do not obey the gospel of the Most High? And that's all of you. That's the 99%. That's the churches. That's the people in the churches. And that's as well as the vassals. What's going to happen to you? Because all of you have made a covenant to go against the Most High's chosen people. That's what happened to you. Now what's going to happen to you? You got many people with the same played out breakdowns of everything. But this is what's about to happen to you. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, right, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. And that goes for people that are in our nation that made a covenant with them as well. That is what is going on right now. And if it's not true, prove it. You want to say all of a sudden now that this destruction is coming against the house of God. No, it's coming against the vassals and the house and the church of Satan that went against the Most High and his people. This is called recompense. This is not a beginning of prophecy because you didn't do anything. This is a prophecy because of what you've done and what you've hidden. And what you've hidden is what you've done to the Most High's chosen people. You made laws, 1502, that created chattel slavery and made us not a people and made us a possession. So if you go to Isaiah 14:2, now the Most High says he's going to give you as a possession to his people. So those laws that you set up against us are now about to go against you. Shalom.